First and foremost, we eulogize the families who have lost their loved ones in the incident that just happened. We know very well disasters. We are in a disaster-prone areas or cities where the initial planning of the city is not even designed, one, for disaster prevention, two, disaster response, three, and management of the disaster. You will find most of our homesteads are congested to the extent that if fire occurs anywhere, the response mechanism that is in place cannot access that particular location. And we leave it to Kenyans who are walking or carrying certain crude weapons to respond to those particular crises. And therefore, I think whenever crises come, we always talk about what happened, and we always comment in the context that these are new things. These are not new things. We have been facing disasters all through, and we know very well our town plan is very poor. Buildings are collapsing every day just because of poor planning and poor restriction or following of regulations that are in place. We know a number of fires which has occurred. People are not conscious about the disaster they go through. Therefore, I think when such disaster occurs, we must get to know a lot of things from it and learn to plan for the prevention of future disaster like this. Again, when you see our authorities who are mandated to check and ensure that all these disasters are prevented, the authorities never take any strict measures in ensuring that things which are placed somewhere are compliant and conform to the regulations and, of course, disaster prevention system. And therefore, I think, to me, we like blaming when the event occurs. My colleague has said it would have been the leadership or the management of those institutions to come forth and vacate offices. This has never been historically known in Kenya for anyone to leave office because of his consciousness in failing his responsibility. This has never happened. And therefore, it is something that you will call for it and will never bear any fruit. What happens now is that I think the society needs to think best way in which they are able to support the government and prevent disasters like this. For example, you'll find someone building structures. Have you seen these structures being erected, the apartments? You will find apartment has been erected, one in the middle, and all the other corners have been erected others. There are no ventilation in between. There's no way you can even rush and help in the event that electricity fault occurs and fire occurs, or even carbon or any other toxic chemical erupts within that structure. No one can access them. Are we looking at that disaster coming? We have disasters. We are actually having bombs in our own homesteads, and we need to see how best that can be addressed before disasters occur. As technology increases, a lot will going to come. And in Western countries, when you see how structures are built, every story building has a minimum distance between the other of 5-10 meters. Just imagine if it is every building is between 10 and 5 meters, 5 to 10 meters, then you are able, that is sufficient enough to have an access in the event that there is disaster. Do we have those structures in place? No. We want to scramble for the little space available to make sure that we maximize it and put a structure there. Little do you know, for all those of us who are rushing to buy those houses, the day disaster comes, I'm telling you, we will be in shit. This is an external thing. For example, these are gas which was put in the wrong place. Ideally, any flammable things are not supposed to be in residential areas. That is in the law. It is not something new. That is in NEMA's regulatory board. Again, we still have responsible people who have been mandated to regulate that, approving and licensing those facilities erected within residential areas. Okay. So in short, I think the system is where we have a problem. We need to think thorough, both with the society, the government, and our disaster or emergency response plan needs to be revisited.